Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us. So today we're going to be talking about Thomas Partey. And, everyone wants to know what's going on with his future at Arsenal,
Yeah.
especially after this season. I mean, we've got some new articles here and look like there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. I mean, obviously his contract situation's a big deal.
Yeah.
Arteta's been saying some interesting things, and
Yeah.
then you've got all these transfer rumors flying around. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, it really is. So where do we even begin? I mean, I guess
Well, I think
the elephant in the room is Partey's contract. Right?
Yeah, I think you got to start there, right? I mean, he's at this weird crossroads in his career, Like on the one hand, his contract is running out,
Right.
but on the other hand, he's been absolutely crucial for Arsenal this season.
Yeah, he has. Right.
His performances on the pitch have been fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's night and day from last season.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember last season, he was barely even playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost 800 more minutes
Right.
he's played in the Premier League this season. It's crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a massive difference.
Yeah. So what do you think changed? Like, why is he suddenly this key player for them?
It's tough to say for sure, but I think part of it's got to be his confidence, right?
Yeah.
Like last season, he was in and out of the team. He never really got a run of games. But this season, Arteta's shown a lot of faith in him.
Yep, he has.
And I think that's allowed Partey to really settle in and show what he can do. And then there's the tactical side of things too, right? Like Arteta's clearly found a system that gets the best out of Partey.
Right.
He's playing in a role that really suits his strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big part of why he's been so successful. Plus, let's not forget that goal he scored earlier this season, right? Like, that was a big moment for him, for the team. It kind of showed that he's not just a defensive midfielder, that he can contribute going forward too.
Okay, so he's been playing well, that's clear.
Yeah.
But what does Arteta actually think of him? Because managers, they're not always the most straightforward people.
True. But I think it's pretty clear that Arteta's really happy with Partey right now. Like, you read those quotes we got, and it's all positive, right?
Yes, yeah.
He's praising his work ethic, his adaptability, even how he's coping with the demands of playing in this Arsenal team.
Working hard, playing really well.
Yes.
Right? He even said coping excellently.
Exactly.
Those are not words you use lightly about a player.
No, not at all. And it's not just the glowing reviews either, right?
What do you mean?
It's that Arteta called him a big player for us.
Okay, yeah.
Like, that's a very deliberate choice of words, It suggests that Arteta sees Partey as integral to his plans, both for now and for the future. I mean, that's huge, right?
Yeah. It's not something a manager just throws around.
No, exactly.
It's okay. We've got Arteta raving about him. We've got Partey playing the best football of his Arsenal career.
Right.
But then his contract is up next summer.
Yeah, that's the big question mark hanging over everything, right?
So do we know, what's the latest on that? Did Arsenal want to extend his contract originally, or?
So from what I remember, initially, they weren't planning on offering him a new deal. Like last season, it kind of made sense, right? He wasn't playing much. They probably thought they could, let him go on a free and maybe bring in someone younger.
Right.
But now it's a different story.
Right.
With the way he's playing, they have a real dilemma on their hands.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the way Arteta's talking about the situation, right? He's saying they're going to have discussions.
Yeah.
It's all very vague and open-ended.
So what do you think that means? Like, what are the options here?
Well, it could be anything from a new contract to a potential transfer.
Ooh, that's juicy.
Yeah, it really is. And then, of course, you've got the transfer rumors to consider, too.
Oh, right, yeah. Barcelona and Juventus are sniffing around, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Those are two of the biggest clubs in the world.
And, I mean, Partey is a top player.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be surprising if he was tempted.
Oh, absolutely. And for Arsenal, losing a player of his caliber, especially for free,
right,
that would be a huge blow.
But it's not just about, his individual performances, is it?
No, it's bigger than that. Think about the experience he brings, especially with a young squad like Arsenal's.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like, those younger players need someone like Partey to guide them, someone who's been there, done that.
Yeah, that article mentions something about squad depth.
Yeah. And, that's crucial for a team like Arsenal. If they want to compete for trophies, they need reliable players who can step in when needed.
Yeah.
Especially with the Champions League this season, right? The schedule's going to be packed. And Partey's one of those guys who, you can always count on. He's rarely injured. He's always up for a fight.
So basically, it sounds like Arsenal has some big decisions to make about Partey's future.
They do, yeah. They need to weigh his importance to the team against the financial realities of offering him a new contract. And they need to do it quickly because the clock is ticking.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Will they offer him a new deal? Will they try to cash in on him in January?
Tough to say, honestly. It's going to be fascinating to see how this all unfolds. But one thing's for sure, this is a story that's going to have some more twists and turns before it's all over.
You got that right. I mean, it's crazy to think about how long it's been since Arsenal were really in the title race.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, they haven't won the Premier League since,
2004.
like, the Invincibles. That's how long ago it was.
That's right.
So, every decision they make now, like with Partey, it has to be part of that bigger plan.
Absolutely.
Like, are they really serious about getting back to the top?
Yeah, every contract, every transfer, it all has to fit into that long-term vision.
Right.
They can't afford to make any missteps.
So, okay, let's say they want to be back at the top, right?
Yeah.
Where does Partey fit into that?
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, he's been a huge part of their success this season.
Oh, yeah, he's been massive. I mean, he's brought that stability to their midfield that they've been lacking for years.
Okay.
He breaks up attacks, he distributes the ball well, and like we said, he's even chipped in with a goal. But honestly, it's more than just his technical ability, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, what really stands out to me is his leadership on the pitch.
Yeah, that's true. He does have that aura about him.
Yeah, he's got that experience from playing at the highest level, both for club and country.
Right.
And that kind of leadership is priceless, especially for a young team like Arsenal.
Especially in those big games, right?
Exactly. He's someone those younger players can look up to, someone they can learn from, especially when the pressure's on. But, there's another side to this coin.
Okay.
He's 31 years old. How many years does he realistically have left playing at this level?
That's the big question, isn't it? Because if Arsenal offer him a new contract, they're basically betting on him maintaining this form for the next few years.
Yeah, at least 2, maybe 3 more years, right?
Yeah. And is that a gamble they're willing to take?
It's a tough one. I mean, on the one hand, you don't want to lose a player like Partey for nothing.
Right.
Especially when he's been so important to the team.
Yep.
But on the other hand, giving a big contract to a player in his 30s, it's always a risk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what if his form dips? What if he gets injured?
Yeah.
Suddenly that contract would become a real burden.
So they really need to think about all of that, like his fitness, his age.
Yeah.
The financial side of it.
Absolutely. The financial implications are huge.
Yeah. But there's also the impact on the rest of the squad, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like if a key player like Partey walks away, what does that say to the other players?
Exactly. It could be seen as a lack of ambition,
Right.
A sign that the club isn't serious about challenging for major honors, but then again, offering him a big new contract,
Yeah.
that could create some tension too.
Okay.
Especially if the younger players feel like their chances are being blocked.
Right. They see this older guy getting all the money. They're like, hey, what about me?
Exactly. So it's a complex situation. There's no easy answer.
No, not at all. It's like Arteta is walking a tightrope here.
He really is.
One wrong move and everything could fall apart.
Yeah, he needs to weigh all these factors and make the right decision for the club's future.
It's like a game of chess, but with real-life consequences.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Every move has to be carefully calculated. And remember, they're not just competing against other clubs. They're also in a race against time.
And you can't forget about the fans, right?
The Arsenal fans.
Yeah, they are passionate.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
And they are not afraid to let their opinions be known.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I mean, have you seen the Arsenal Twitterverse?
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
It could be a wild place.
It can be a scary place sometimes.
Yeah. But let's bring it back to Partey. What do you think Arteta's next move should be? Like, if you were in his shoes, what would you do?
Okay, so if I'm Arteta, the first thing I'm doing is having some honest conversations with Partey.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I need to understand his commitment to the club, his long-term aspirations, and how he sees his role evolving.
Right, because he's not getting any younger.
Exactly. So we need to be on the same page about what the future looks like.
So like a come-to-Jesus meeting, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's not just about talking, right?
Okay, what else?
I'd be watching his performances in training, in matches, really paying attention to his fitness levels, how his body's holding up.
Okay, so monitoring him closely.
Exactly. And at the same time, I'd be doing my homework looking at potential replacements just in case.
Oh, so you're thinking ahead.
You always have to have a plan B in football.
That's smart.
You never know what's going to happen. But ultimately, the final decision, it's up to Arteta and the Arsenal board.
Right.
It's a tough one, that's for sure.
It really is. I mean, this whole situation, it's so fascinating.
It is, isn't it?
It's not just about the game, you know? It's about all these human dynamics, the ambition, the loyalty, the fact that time waits for no man.
You said it. And let's not forget the financial aspect.
Like the business side of it.
Football is a business,
Yeah.
and every decision comes with a price tag.
Yeah, it really is crazy how all these things are connected, you know? Like, it's not just about what happens on the pitch.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much more to it.
It's like a ripple effect, right?
Exactly.
Like Partey's situation, it impacts the whole squad, the club's transfer strategy, even the fans' expectations.
It's a lot for Arteta to handle.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it's what makes football so interesting, right? Like, we get to see how all these pieces fit together.
Exactly. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out where all the pieces go.
And the stakes are high.
Oh, yeah, especially for Arsenal.
Yeah.
They're trying to get back to the top, and every decision matters. It's like a high-stakes chess game, you know?
I like that analogy. So, okay, let's put ourselves in Arteta's shoes for a second.
Okay.
What would you do about Partey?
Man, that's a tough one.
It is, right?
Because on the one hand, he's been so good for them.
Yeah.
He knows the system, he brings experience, leadership.
Right.
All those things are crucial, especially for a young team.
But then there's the age thing.
Yeah, he's not getting any younger.
Right. And you can't ignore that.
And contracts are expensive.
Yeah, especially for a player in his 30s.
You're basically betting that he can keep playing at this level for a few more years.
And what if you can't? Then you're stuck with this big contract.
Exactly. And it could limit your options in the transfer market.
Right, because you've already spent all this money on Partey.
Yeah. And then there's the question of whether there are better options out there.
Younger players, maybe?
Yeah, guys with more upside, more potential.
So it's really a balancing act.
It is.
Like, you got to weigh all the
The
factors.
sporting side, the financial side, the long-term vision for the club.
It's a lot.
It is, yeah. But that's the job, right? These are the decisions that managers have to make.
And we get to watch it all unfold.
Not analyze it and debate it.
Exactly. That's the fun part.
It really is. Well, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
I think so, too.
What do you think Arteta will ultimately do about Partey?
I honestly don't know. It's too close to call. But I can't wait to find out.
Me neither. This is definitely a story we're going to be following closely. So to everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the latest developments in this saga. We'll catch you next time.